You ask me why I hunt, why I take life. Why can't I just go to the store like everyone else? Well, let me say this once. One time. That is all it will take to paint the picture in your mind. One time to lay rest your concerns for my mortal soul. Or perhaps to ease the burden of yours. Because deep down, in the heart of your subconscious, you know my path is the right one. The natural one. The one the ancients followed. And the one modern society has so quickly renounced. In your mind, the humane choice is going to the store. It's waiting patiently in line at the meat counter, waiting and looking at the pre-butchered, pre-packaged cuts of meat. Carefully, you examine the marbling of each piece, the thickness of the fat cap, and then there it is, your chosen piece. You pretend not to pay attention to it, lest one of the other poor bastards standing next to you spies it. With your choice then made, you quietly wait for the red digital number on the display to match the one on the crumpled, slightly sweaty paper tab in your hand. These few moments of anxious silence stretch on for what seems like an intolerable amount of time. An expanse that often culminates with your disappointment when the person ahead of you in line chooses that exact cut for their own. You then scramble to find another suitable choice, and you make it, but inevitably disappoints you by virtue of not being what you really wanted. You smile through tight lips at the person behind the counter and say, "I think that one will be just fine." But inside, you know it's not fine, and your subconscious is witness to the knowledge it will not fill the void. You pay your money, tuck your meat under your arm, and go home and eat it. Once it is consumed, you tuck yourself cozily in bed and pat yourself on the back for a job well done. As you drift off to sleep, you think not of the life of the slaughter animal you just consumed. You do not care that it was most likely born to a mother crammed into a stall with hundreds or thousands of other mothers or soon-to-be mothers. Mothers with no room to move, no room to lay, no room to shit. That piece of meat you just ate was born into that hell. And in that hell it remained, growing and eating the remains of other slaughter animals and never roaming free. It lived that existence, day after day, year after year, until one day that routine changed. It was led down a narrow gated path until it could move forward no more. Then a piece of not-so-shiny metal was placed against its skull, and a pressurized bolt punctured its brains and ended its existence. It was unceremoniously dragged to another part of the facility and was butchered by men and machines that did not know it and did not honor its sacrifice. Come to think of it, did you? By contrast, the meat I just ate was cut from an animal born between late May and early June many seasons ago. Since his first steps, he has walked among the same trees and meadows that his ancestors did. Never caged, never abused, never forced to eat the flesh of his own kind. As he was taught, in the ancient way that knowledge is passed down among his kind, he has forged and grown strong. He has explored the limits of his world. He has fought for dominance. He has fought for survival. He has fought for the right to pass on his seed. His strength and cunning have kept him alive when others lacking in those virtues have fallen to disease or predators. He has walked under the boughs in the green of spring and left his footprints in the snow of the winter cold. He has lived a good life, an honored life, a free life. He has fathered many children that were blessed with a life of freedom, just the same as he. I hunted him on a day when the snow was still fresh on the ground from when it fell from the sky the night before. His trail was soft and broken at first, but hardened as I continued my stalk. He led me deeper into his world, deeper into the hunt, and to a point where our destinies crossed. The universe ordained us to meet that day in that small clearing on the slope. He did not scent me, not until it was too late for him, not until the arrow was loosed from my bow. The arrow flew true for me that day. It flew true for us both. He faltered in the soft snow between the ashen trunks of trees that seemed to stretch forever. I approached slowly, cautiously, reverently, acutely aware that his life's blood was spent. We met each other's gaze, and I bowed my head in respect and honor. I quietly stood guard over him as his chest rose and fell for the last time. His sacrifice, his death. No, his life will provide energy and strength to myself and my children, past when the green returns to this land, and into when the white covers it again. His crown, a sign of his years and wisdom, hangs in a place of honor over my hearth. His strength is now our strength. His freedom, our freedom. I tell my children often of that day, and if the universe wills it, hopefully they will tell their children such stories as well. Many nights, when all are asleep, I gaze upon that crown, remember every step of our brief time together. I fight down the emotion, and I thank him for all he has given me. So, what's gonna be on your plate, motherfucker?